Okay, I'm looking down at Gizmo because he's right here. I'm going to stand up for this video because even though I have given Gizmo my undivided attention, I played with him, we had some wonderful time together, and I wanted to make sure that I gave him all of me so that when I start recording that he will not interrupt. But I know that just because I'm over here at my desk, and if I were to pull the chair out and sit down, he's going to meow, and then he's going to come over, he's going to jump on the desk, and he's going to jump on my lap, and then I'm going to get distracted, and I don't want that. So I'm going to stand for this video. Okay? All right. I started dating when I was 16 years old. You're probably like, where is this going? What are we talking about? I started dating when I was 16 years old. I'm currently 45. You do the math, okay? With all of the very interesting and unique people that I have dated in these many, many years, many, many decades, or decades as I like to call it, the one person that I have not dated has been myself. I will say that has changed. I started dating myself well over 5 years ago. It started out by me just wanting to do something for myself. I wanted to have like a reset for like Mother's Day. People would ask me, what can I get you? Is there anything that you want? And I would say a day to myself. I just want time to myself. Eventually, I said, maybe I should take a trip, a little solo trip, do something for me. Then that expanded into more trips and like just more things where I was doing stuff that I enjoyed doing. These could be considered dates. These could be just moments where I'm really focused on myself, doing the things that I like to do. And that's really about it. But I wanted to talk about this on this video because I wanted to share with all of you some of my best solo dating experiences. Now, I will give a caveat. Self-care is not capitalistic. It does not have to equate to buying something or any type of monetary exchange. My self-care, first and foremost, is me taking time out to just be with myself, to relax, to slow down, to be here at home, to rest and not have to get up and do a bunch of different things, a billion different things, right? Just chilling. That's the first thing for my solo date time. But then it expands from there. So I'm going to share with you things that do involve money, and then I'm going to share with you some things that don't involve money. But I enjoy them all the more because it is a part of me learning about what it is that I like, what it is that I don't like, just having a good old time with myself. So that sounded a little awkward. In either case, I want to share with you my solo date. My best solo dates. How about that? My best solo dates. Okay. I'm going to start off with a banger. All right. This solo date was actually a solo trip. I haven't gone on a solo trip in a couple of years, and I am just yearning. I am yearning to go on a solo trip. I have a 3-day weekend, so I have a little bit of wiggle room. I've been thinking about going somewhere internationally, but I also don't know with the current climate in the United States if that really is anything that makes any sense. I love the Pacific Northwest. I thought about going there. I want to find a space or an area, geographical location that I could just rest. I'm not trying to do a whole bunch of things, but in either case, solo trip has got to happen soon. This solo trip was a doozy for me because I just absolutely loved the scenery. I loved the pace of the trip that I took. It was wonderful. I went to Zion National Park in Utah by myself. I had an absolutely wonderful time. I stayed at an Airbnb, which was like a tent, actually. And it was a tent attached to the main house, it was on the property, but they had these tents because there was so much land and spaciousness that the homeowners had, that they could kind of set up these little tents, these little camping tents, glamping tents, because there was heat in the tent. There were beds in the tent, couches. Like the only thing that wasn't available was like a television, but I really didn't need a TV. I was hiking during the day, and I would come back to the tent, eat something simple. They didn't have any refrigerators, they didn't have like a stove or anything like that. So anything that I would have to eat would have to be outside. Something that's a fun fact about me, I don't know if it's a fun fact or it's just an interesting fact, is when I travel, most of the time I like to stay in vacation homes, so like Airbnb or VRBO, and I prefer to cook. I don't necessarily want to eat out all the time unless that is a part of the trip and the intention is to eat. Then definitely I'm going to eat out. I'm going to enjoy myself. But I like to cook. I like to make something and have it be really simple, not make a huge meal, nothing crazy. But whether I'm traveling by myself or traveling with other people, that's just something that I prefer. So with this particular trip, there was not a great deal of cooking utensils or cooking apparatuses that I could use or have at my disposal. So it was very simple kind of fruits and nuts that I could get for the day and stuff like that, or I would go out to eat. But what I loved about this trip was that, first of all, I love being outside. I love being in nature. It's one of my absolute favorite things. And to be outside in nature, hiking some really, really hard mountains. I love hiking. I'm an avid hiker. Um, I had heard such wonderful things about Zion. I could not wait to go. I had researched it and looked up some of the trails. And then I also left certain things to chance. I did not plan, which I should have, because I wanted to go to the slot canyon. Slot canyon. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's not close to Zion, but it's a bit of a drive, and it's where you see people that are kind of maneuvering through these really tight areas. I had to book that ahead of time, and I didn't realize that I had to do that. You have to pre-plan that, and you have to go with a guide, because it's the locals that are guiding you through the canyon. You're not going by yourself, otherwise you would most likely get lost. So that was the only thing that I was like, oh, okay, shucks, I didn't get a chance to do it. But in either case, the tent that I was staying in was kind of at the base of Zion, or there was another park that there were mountains and there were like sand dunes. And at the end of my trip, this was like a 15-minute drive from the tent that I was staying in, and I could just watch the sunset. There were people like driving around on ATVs. It was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. I cannot wait to go back to Zion. It was wonderful. So if you're someone who is adventurous and you like to hike, you like to be outside. The other solo date that I've gone on that I absolutely love is roller skating. This is something that I do quite often. I roller skate. I used to skate as a kid every single day. Skating outside was my absolute favorite thing to do. I would skate for years. I think I started when I was 5 and went well into my teens. Like, when I tell you, skating was a thing for me. And over time, as I got older, I just stopped skating. And every so often, maybe I get invited to like a child's birthday party that would be in a skating rink, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I remember I love skating. And so the nostalgia would come back, and then I'd get my skates on rentals, and then I would, skate and just remember how wonderful that feeling was. And when I moved here to Atlanta, I said, you know what? I want to get back into skating. I want to do this, and I want to do it more often so that it's a way for me to be able to release. It's a way for me to have fun. I certainly work up a sweat. So I bought my very own skates. They're absolutely adorable. I love them. And it took me some time to kind of get back into a groove, I will admit. I had a little bit of some hiccups in the very beginning because it had been years since I was skating. So even though I felt comfortable on skates, I realized like, oh, 45 is not 15. And so the tricks, okay, that I used to be able to do, we're not doing those anymore. All right. Even though I can get backwards and I can kind of groove in my little way backwards, I'm not doing a whole lot of stuff. Okay. I'm not doing a whole lot of stuff because I did fall and it took days for just a simple little I didn't pull anything. I didn't hurt anything too badly, but when I tell you the recovery, days. So, not doing all the stunts, not doing all the tricks, but I am enjoying skating. I absolutely love it. Just the feeling of zooming through the air super fast with some really good music, vibing out to other people that are skating alongside me. It's just absolutely wonderful. And one of my traditions that I made starting in 2022 going into 2023 was I roller skated into the new year. And that has been a tradition that I have kept up since 2023. I roller skate into the new year, countdown and everything, just rolling my way into the new year. That has been something that I absolutely love and I continue to do it. So roller skating, another solo date experience. If you like to skate, highly recommend it. Another thing that I have done, and this is just kind of, I don't want to say haphazard or random, is dance. And this is something that is free. Now, can you dance places? Can you go to pay to go somewhere and dance? Of course. But when I tell you there is nothing in this world better than turning on some music and just having a dance session in your own space. I'm a former dancer, okay? I have danced for 20 some odd years, all different styles of dance. Just to be in my body and feel some good music, even though I haven't danced professionally in over 20 or yeah, in about 20 years now, over 20 years. I can still listen to a piece of music and immediately kind of start choreographing things in my mind of like, oh, this is a good beat. Oh, this would be good to do here. Oh, this is now, can I execute that? No. But in either case, dancing, hands down, my favorite thing to do. I love to dance. I will do it anywhere. I'm telling you, anywhere. I have been known to dance anywhere. And I don't care. I don't care who's looking. I just get into my groove and I get into my body and I absolutely love it. Dancing, another solo date, solo experience that fills my cup so much. My goodness. Something else that is a solo experience that I've enjoyed is taking myself out to eat. I recently went to this amazing restaurant here in Atlanta that is it high end? It's a high end dining experience. It's more on the expensive side. My bill alone, I was like, this is great. If there were two people, I was like, it would be pricey. But the food was amazing. The views were bomb. The staff was amazing. The ambiance, the music that they had playing in the background is just like vibe music was great. When I tell you eating out, I love food. Okay? I want to enjoy food. I think that eating is an experience that is great when it's shared and it's great when it's by myself. I will eat just I love to try new things. I'm not someone who's locked into, a certain food and wants to stick to that. I don't have a lot of dietary restrictions, so I'm pretty flexible when it comes to things that I can eat. Though I do need to get a food allergy test because I know that there are some things that are agitating my system. And so I got to kind of figure out what that is. But in either case, food for me is wonderful. Food for me is just, ah, it's, it, it's a beautiful experience. And when I travel places, whether that's within the United States or outside the United States, food is a hands down, like, where the best eats, where are the locals eating, what are some, like, give me a list of things that you would recommend that I go to, like restaurants that I go to, things that I try. I love good food. So solo dates that are me going out to eat, wonderful, absolutely amazing. And I go when it's, I don't want to say high time, but like Fridays, Saturdays, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Another solo dating experience is movies. Movies. Okay, I'm about to nerd out, and I think I missed my window, and I'm kind of disappointed about that. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd. Yes, I admit it. I watched the movies in the movie theater when they came out. Each year they came out. I have the box set, okay, with the extended cut with all the extra goodies. I have that. I have it. I saw recently, went to the movies a couple of months ago, and there was a preview that was saying that they're bringing back The Lord of the Rings for the movies, but for a very limited time. And I said, you know what? I know what movie date I'm taking myself to. I know where I'm going. Oh, I love going to the movies because I'm not a talker. That's not true. I am a talker, but I don't talk loud and I don't talk a lot. I'll make noises, I'll make sounds, I'll go, ooh, oh. I don't like scary movies. I do not like to be scared, so I'm not going to watch anything scary, whether that's by myself or with other people. That's just not my thing. I love comedies, dramas, sure, but movies are great because I'm taking in the experience by myself, like I'm watching the movie by myself, critiquing things, and then I can go and watch with friends and family later on. But if it's a movie that I really want to see and I don't want any interruptions or anyone talking, I will watch it by myself first, or I'll watch it by myself after watching it with family or anything like that, family or friends and anything like that, because I want to be able to like immerse myself into the experience by myself. Interesting fact, fun fact, whatever we want to call it. The movie The Best Man, the original Best Man, I actually saw that movie by myself in the movie theater. Yeah, and that was decades ago. So that shows you how long I've been kind of in this solo date game, okay? Yeah, I saw The Best Man in the movie theater by myself. Intentionally. Like, it wasn't like oh maybe, no, like intentionally. I saw that. I saw The Matrix by myself. I did watch it with people, and then I watched it by myself. Right. So I've been doing this for a minute. So movies, yes, definitely a wonderful solo date experience. Something else that I absolutely love to do is I love hiking. I know that I talked about Zion National Park, but I hike here locally. There are wonderful trails, there are wonderful parks. Even if I'm not hiking where it's strenuous and I'm kind of going up a mountain or up some strenuous hill, it can be flat. Just the experience of hiking. I find that hiking, as with everything, always has a spiritual component to it because there's something that I am learning. There's something that begins to illuminate the more that I walk, the more that I'm processing, and I'm talking out loud. I'm talking to God. Me and God are just chopping it up. I find that hikes are where I have the most revelations, things become super clear when I'm hiking. I've done this same thing if I'm traveling, and even if I'm traveling with family and I'm traveling with friends, I will find a spot to hike. Hiking for me just is, it's always been an amazing experience. I continually get amazed at the insight that God just just springs forth in my mind when I go hiking. So that's another experience. And that doesn't cost you anything. I mean, it may cost you a fee for a park entrance, but for me, there are places that I can go to where I don't have to pay to go hike. I just park and start walking. When I used to live in Florida, another solo date, going to the beach. Let me tell you, I've learned so many wonderful, amazing things from my mother. She is just an amazing human being. I could never understand why my mom always carried or transported a beach chair, a towel, and a book in her trunk. Always. Not an umbrella, like a foldable chair, her canvas bag with a book, and a blanket or a towel. Always. It would just fascinate me. I was like, what? Like, I don't know if I ever asked. I knew why. Like, I knew what it was for, but I never asked. When I got older, became an adult, I started doing the same thing. Didn't even realize I was doing it until one day I just kind of propped myself by the beach, and I just was sitting reading a book, and I was like, huh, that's why you were doing this. There's something about having access to ocean water that is absolutely healing. I am so grateful that I had that experience in my life where I was able to live literally 15 minutes from the ocean. Growing up, that is how close I was to the ocean. And I would go as often as possible. I love being in the water. I love the ocean. It's one of my happy places. And something that I kind of also instilled in my children is we would just go to the beach. What are we going to do? Guess what? There's a beach right there. We can go and we can just lay out. We can make sand castles. And it's a great way to, once again, reset, refocus, reconnect with myself. So I would just sit. Sometimes I would read a book. A lot of times I would just sit in the chair and close my eyes and listen to the waves. Or I would have like a floaty and just float on top of the water and just completely relax and just zone out. That's one of my favorite things that I absolutely love. It's a bit challenging since I'm landlocked now and I don't have access to the ocean like I used to. I do have access to water, but I don't have access to the ocean. And so there's a little part of me that gets sad, a large part of me that gets sad that I don't have access to the beach like I used to. But that was one of my absolute favorite things to do. And the last thing that I absolutely love to do as a solo date is nothing. Nothing. I don't have any plans. I don't have any trips. I'm not going outside. I'm not doing anything in the house. I'm not recording a video. I'm not editing a video. I'm doing nothing. Wonderful. And usually doing nothing turns into me having my own private dance party. That usually is the progression of things. But in either case, to sit down, relax, and absolutely zone out and just be still. Chef's kiss, absolutely wonderful. One of my most favorite things. It took me a while to be able to be comfortable in doing nothing and just sitting and being still. But now I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. So let me know, what are some of your favorite solo dates? If you do solo dates for yourself, if you have not taken yourself out on a date, why not? Thank you all for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing. If you got all the way to the end, oh my gosh, if you got all the way to the end of this video, give me a thumbs up and also comment below and say, yeah, yeah. Or you know what? If you made it to the end of this video, if you made it to the end of this video, what am I going to say? I don't know. Give me a suggestion for where I can go for my solo date, for my solo trip. That's what, yeah, give me a suggestion. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.